Watch a special presentation of Memorial Day services beginning at 8:30 a.m. this coming Monday, live from Veterans Memorial Island, only on VeroBuzzTV.com. Hello, I'm Jeff Vogel for VeroBuzzTV.com. We are at Veterans Memorial Sanctuary, the island here at Riverside Park in Vero Beach. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day. Let's take a little tour of the Veterans Memorial Island. It's used only a few times a year officially, mostly for Memorial Day, and it begins with this magnificent bridge that we're going to be going across. As you can see, there's not a lot of people here today, but it's surrounded by water, and it's just a magnificent place to be and to enjoy. The Indian River Lagoon stretching on both sides of the island. And most prominent as we walk across the bridge is the flag in front of us. On the island are a lot of monuments that have been placed throughout the years that each commemorate special events in American history. And the people who made this island happen are to be themselves congratulated, because in all of Vero Beach, this is one of the most peaceful places that you're ever going to find. It's been a while since I've actually been out here, but it's a place that once you're here, you feel so at ease and at peace with yourself and the world that it is very much a sanctuary of the soul, I think, where people can go and sit and reflect upon their own lives and upon the sacrifices that have been made by men and women in uniform throughout the history of the United States. We're crossing the bridge now. The large flag in front of us is beckoning you to move forward onto the island. There's a map up here ahead. We'll take a quick look at it, see what some of the monuments are that we'll be taking a look at today. On the map, again surrounded by the Indian River Lagoon, there's memorials throughout the island. A World War II memorial, prisoner of war missing in action memorial, Vietnam War monument, commemorating monuments to the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, Department of Defense. There's one here for those who received Purple Hearts, Pearl Harbor survivors, the Korean War. If I've left anyone out, I apologize, but come here for yourself, because this is a place you want to come and enjoy. I say enjoy because it is enjoyable. It's very peaceful, relaxing. We're going to take a look at some of the individual monuments that are on the island. This is the type of place where you can bring family and friends. It's not a picnicking spot. This is not a place where you're going to play frisbee or toss a football around. It's really a place for quiet solitude and, as I said, reflection. The flag is absolutely splendid here, and this past week has been one of reflection for everyone in the U.S. And again, this island is a very special place in Vero Beach, honoring those who have sacrificed for their country and put here by people who have a special, special place in their hearts for those people who have really given, in many cases, the supreme sacrifice. Let's come up close to take a look at the keynote sign here. It is Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. River travel was vital to early human activity of Florida and the Indian River area. In the early 1900s, efforts began to dredge the Indian River, and by the 1930s, the U.S. Corps of Engineers routinely maintained this channel called the Intercoastal Waterway. After World War II, the channel was once again slated for dredging, and Alex McWilliam Sr., a veteran and member of the Florida legislature, proposed a special project and persuaded the federal government to realign the existing Vero Beach channel to make way for a modern drawbridge, the first Merrill Barber Bridge, and to create a memorial island with the surplus dredging materials. So this island that we're actually on was made with the materials dredged from the Indian River Lagoon. And lest we forget are the words used to do the dedication of this island. It was dedicated on May 3rd in 1964, and this one man and hundreds of citizens in Indian River County did not forget. And 17 years later, when Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary was created, the Vero Beach Beautification Society and the Garden Club coordinated the beautification of the property, and today the Stars and Stripes wave proudly over this island sanctuary, which can be seen from the deep channel of the Intercoastal Waterway and the two modern bridges that are now spanning the Indian River Lagoon. And right over to our side here is the Lest We Forget monument, which is placed here in memory of those who paid the supreme sacrifice in all of the wars that the U.S. has encountered in defense of our country, and that was dedicated in 1963. The flag is most prominent on the island itself, and we're going to take our time to visit some of the individual monuments that are here. People often come here to remember those family members and friends who gave so much for the country. And let's just step over this way. Take a look at the monuments that are over around this first turn on the island. This is a terrific place to come if you just want to quietly think to yourself and to enjoy a bit of nature. This first monument that we have is for this tree in front of us, and it was planted to honor 50 years of the end of World War II. And may this tree grow 50 years in peace. And it was dedicated in 1995. That's the type of sentiment that you find here on Memorial Island.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
The Furniture Man is a locally owned business that has served the needs of the community of Vero Beach and Indian River County for over 30 years. Here at the Furniture Man, we offer fine pieces to furnish each and every room of your home. Specializing in Floridian style, come browse our selection of bedroom, dining room, patio, and living room. Come explore over 10,000 square feet of showroom, where you can find mattresses, recliners, sofas, dining, and more. Visit us at 673 US 1 in Vero Beach, Monday through Saturday for all of your furniture needs.
Watch a special presentation of Memorial Day services beginning at 8:30 a.m. this coming Monday, live from Veterans Memorial Island, only on VeroBuzzTV.com. I'm going to spin the camera around a moment and just quickly come over here to this monument, which is dedicated to prisoners of war and those who remain missing in action, with the words, "You are not forgotten," dedicated to those held as prisoners of war and those missing in action. It's that type of sentiment that you're going to find throughout Veterans Memorial Island, at Riverside Park in Vero Beach. And there's some lovely walking sidewalks along the island. We'll stay off the grass and we'll stick to the sidewalked walking paths. People come here to enjoy the view, enjoy the quiet. This is for those in the United States Army here. And the island is situated so that you can really see the heart of Vero Beach, both bridges on either side. And along this path, you'll encounter a lot of monuments that really make you stop and think, not just about our history, but where we are today and where the country has come, and whether or not we have evolved as a society, as was the great promise of our founding fathers. This monument is dedicated to all Vietnam veterans, and there are plenty of them in Indian River County. Indian River County is rich with veterans who served in all branches of the armed forces. My dad is a World War II veteran, sort of entered World War II toward the end of it, but he was stationed in England toward the last years of World War II. Had munitions duty, and he and his fellow soldiers were kept busy moving ammunitions from into the woods of England, where they hopefully were safe, but was not a good place to be should one of them have been struck. This is dedicated to the United States Navy here. On all sides of Memorial Island, there are places to sit and just quietly enjoy the tranquility of the island. To my left are rows of seats that have been set up for services to be held soon. And as we walk along, we note that when people come to Memorial Island, Veterans Memorial Island, they always walk away with a great sense of pride. As I mentioned earlier, I have not been here in a while. I've been here many times, but not for a while. And perhaps you also have not been here in a while. I invite you to come out here. It doesn't have to be for a special event of any kind. The island is open all the time. Well, probably closes at sunset, I would imagine. But it's here for you to enjoy. And if you have been here before, come back and just bring a book with you if you'd like, and sit and read, or just sit and think. This is to the United States Air Force here. It's a great place to gather your thoughts. And since it's building, as we mentioned, actually from the dredge material from the bottom of the Indian River Lagoon, put here to create an island sanctuary, a living memorial to those who have served in the armed forces. This is typical of what Vero Beach has to offer. There's lots of places in Vero Beach where you can enjoy yourself and relax, and water views are everywhere, beachside and riverside. Some of this vegetation has matured over the years. This is a granddaddy of a tree, I would say, and that's what's in part nice about this island is that it feels like it has history to it. And there are new trees planted all the time. We saw one earlier that was planted to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the conclusion of World War II. And then we see some older, more mature trees. But the vegetation gives you a feeling of comfort, I think, that this place has been here for a while and it's here to stay. We have another monument along the way here in honor of a branch of the armed services. And this one is dedicated to the United States Marine Corps. As I mentioned, there are a lot of veterans living in Indian River County. If you're not one of them, you probably know one of them, or a family member of yours has served in the military. We have a bit of a stretch here between monuments. There's a mixture of vegetation. I couldn't name them all. I imagine there's a whole lot of oak trees here and palm trees. I couldn't name all the different types of trees that are on the island. Only that there's something about living organisms, whether they're plants or trees, that give you a sense of belonging. And as a sanctuary, I'm sure the birds enjoy this island as well. It's a great resting spot for them. We're coming up alongside another one of the monuments dedicated to the armed services. And if you have members now serving in one of the branches of the U.S. Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, this one is dedicated to Korean War veterans. The war lasting from June 25th of 1950 to July 27th of 1953. Korea is still an unsettled place on the globe, and many fought and many died from the U.S. trying to make that part of the world more peaceful and secure. It's hard sometimes to talk about armed conflict around the world because so often it seems that the conflicts are never ending. And yet, in no way does that lessen the importance of the sacrifice that so many men and women, particularly from Indian River County, have made. This one is dedicated to the United States Coast Guard, who continue to keep the shores of Florida safe. They can often be seen in our area waters along the Treasure Coast, not just protecting our seashore, but also very much involved in rescue operations from time to time. The fewer and far between, the better, but they are busy men and women serving in the Coast Guard.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Watch a special presentation of Memorial Day services beginning at 8:30 a.m. this coming Monday, live from Veterans Memorial Island, only on VeroBuzzTV.com. Reminded by recently the campaign for president and candidates, and the question of the day being, had you known today what we knew, or had you known yesterday what we know today, would you have done this or done that? And candidates need to remember that those who serve the country do so with obedience and with the greatest of dedication and the utmost of purity in their hearts. And their service, no matter what, needs to be honored, even when politicians make decisions that may come into question later. Another monument along the way, along this walking path that curves along Veterans Memorial Island, is to the Department of Defense. Each one of these markers signifies a branch of military service and service to the U.S. that is so incredibly important to the survival of the nation. And not just here at home, but throughout the world. Members of the military have inexhaustibly spent their energy, their time, their tears, helping people around the world, trying to make their lives better. There's a nice park bench right here. And we're opposite a memorial to the Purple Heart Memorial, I'll call it, to the combat wounded veterans. All gave some, and some gave all, the monument reads. To those who have been wounded in combat, in conflicts around the world, serving the U.S. We have one more up ahead. It's got orange cones around it. I'm not sure what that means. It could be under repair. We'll find out when we get there. And a center space that we'll need to explore also. I hate to walk on the grass to get there, but we're gonna go up here to the orange cones, find out what's going on up there on a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here on Veterans Memorial Island next to Riverside Park in Vero Beach. As I mentioned, this is a great place it's a great place actually to bring your kids and your grandkids, because not only is it a lovely place to be, but it's a history book. It's a history of the United States. What we have is an unmarked marker, and soon to be dedicated, I would imagine. Which means that one and only one thing, we're going to have to come back to see how this monument is dedicated in the future. One last stop along the way at the base of the flag up here. There are markers along the ground here, and this is a very solemn place. For those of you who might get thirsty on a hot day like today, there is a water fountain. We'll hope it's a working water fountain. It is. We'll just, again, stay off the grass out of respect for the Memorial Island Sanctuary. Make a wide circle here and take a look at what we've got just around the corner. Lights that keep the flag lit at night. It's all right to leave a flag out at night as long as it is lit and well lit. And we're not wanting to disturb anyone in terms of our just walking up here slowly. Again, we're on Memorial Island, Veterans Memorial Island. And this marker reads, Heroes All. These markers honor those residents from Indian River County who paid the supreme sacrifice in defense of our country. And there are many who have done that. We'll remind you once more as we make our way back toward the entrance of Memorial Island that this is a terrific place to come by yourself or to bring a loved one, to bring your family members, to pay your respects to those who have served our country. Bring your children and your grandchildren. They will respect you when they see the kind of respect you offer to others. Children learn by example, and a great example for them would be for you to bring them out here to Memorial Island. Afterwards, you can always treat them to an ice cream cone or something. But this is a great, great special outing, a great place for a field trip to bring your children and your grandchildren. There's lots of places to sit and rest on this bit of a tour. And as I said, just sit, relax, enjoy what so many have made possible by the creation of this island, made from the muck of the Indian River into something phenomenal. A beautiful, beautiful island sanctuary. There's one more monument over here. Lots to discover here and to explore. And this appears to be in honor of, in memory of Alexander McWilliam Sr., whose efforts and inspiration founded this beautiful memorial sanctuary and is dedicated to those who paid the supreme sacrifice. May he walk through these paths of beauty forever. And this dedicated in 1967. Our tour of Veterans Memorial Island is coming to a bit of a close, but it could be the beginning for you. So I would encourage you, some afternoon when you're not sure what to do with yourself, take a drive to Riverside Park, hang a right over the bridge, or if you're coming from beachside, you look for the Riverside Theater, easy enough to find. Park your car, get out quietly, just walk out to Veterans Memorial Island and enjoy it for yourself. For Vero Buzz TV, I'm Jeff Vogel. Thanks for joining us on this special report.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. It's got nothing to do with fairness. Bam. Your whole world changes in an instant. And you never see it coming. That's what happened to me. The day my mother had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke. F-A-S-T. Fast.